Early.
Okay, I'm ready where you are. Now
All
we're
right.
live.
Hey, well, welcome, Nestor, to our first of hopefully many opportunities to use a curiosity-based approach to learning a lot of new technologies out there, specifically ChatGPT. I know I'm really
I love that one.
yeah, right. I seen you've been posting and sharing some stuff, and I'm really curious to get your perspective on this. And I'm going to share, if it's okay, we'll take a curiosity. We're going to go what to wow on ChatGPT, specifically on your take on ChatGPT. I can't say it as an entrepreneur and as an international entrepreneur, but also someone who works with entrepreneurs, who coaches and teaches entrepreneurship. And I'll let you elaborate more in a little, but I was hoping to go through at the beginning a quick what to wow. I got 8 different questions, and I was wondering if you could give me a single sentence answer to each one of these questions. I'm going to put you in the hot seat. So
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
yeah,
Let,
all
okay,
right.
let me put very comfortable here.
Nice. So the first question I have for you about Chat GPT and curiosity and entrepreneurship is I just lost it here. Is what are some specific ways, or what is the most specific way that you can think of that Chat GPT will be used to improve the customer experience in businesses?
I would say it will take out of the equation the repetitive work and the work that you don't want to do.
Nice, nice. I like that's a perfect answer. So short to the point, and it's definitely something we're experiencing and seeing right off the bat with Chat GPT, right? A lot of the repetitive work.
Yeah.
And it is important that I like to share with people too is that as we learn about these tools, it's not magic. Yeah, you can't just snap your fingers and it does stuff that you couldn't do, but it can shrink the amount of time you spend stuff. It can help reduce repetitive work and other things. Nice. Who do you think the next question is who do you think will be impacted the most by the implementation of Chat GPT for entrepreneurs in this space?
Okay. Okay. Who? I would say people in charge of repetitive work, of course. But
Okay.
just to be more specific, I would say the most impact will be on people working on the strategy of the company, because the amount of time that the managers will save will open a lot of time to do the things that you should be doing.
I like that. I like that answer. So strategy. We'll go back to this idea of repetitive work that made me think of some things, but interesting. People who are in charge of strategy, perhaps even leadership, right? I like this because it sounds like it means they can kind of get back to those the human side of strategy and leadership, and kind of focus on maybe connecting and communicating with their teams as opposed to a lot of, like you said, the repetitive
Mm.
work that either takes a lot of time, but sometimes it just takes away a lot of the energy and the motivation and just kind of the passion for what people do, right? When they get in a job or they do something because of the human side of it and being able to connect with others, but then they show up to work and it's all entering in, repetitive work. Nice, nice. When when do you think entrepreneurs again, ChatGPT really just got released to the world November 30th, right? So
Yep.
it's a short amount of time, but when do you think entrepreneurs or enterprises can expect to see measurable results from using ChatGPT in their businesses? When does it go from just being, hey, this is a fun tool, or I can maybe, save some time here or there, to actually seeing, big gains or things they couldn't have done previously?
I will say at the very next day that you start using it.
Nice.
Because if you understand the ChatGPT, and if this is your first time, actually, maybe some people this is the first time that you are maybe listening to some guys talking about that GPT. But if you go to ChatGPT and you spend like 1, 2, 3 hours just learning what you can do, I will guarantee you tomorrow you will look for results in your company.
Nice.
That is that fast. It's
Medium.
basically
Yeah. Yeah.
the learning curve is super fast.
Yep. Yep. Now, I'll throw in there, the learning curve it speeds up even more with a curiosity-based approach, right? That's one of the things I'm happy to explore. I'm really excited to explore here too, is how, without curiosity, ChatGPT is just it's just another technology. It's just another thing on your computer, right? But if you know the questions to ask, and it's not one size fits all, but it's the process of developing strategies and processes on how to use Chat GPT is the secret. And that's why I'm excited to share how some of these curiosity based thinking processes can be carried over directly to Chat GPT. And like you said, the benefits are immediate. Nice.
Yes, immediate.
Where do you find good resources to learn more, to support integrating Chat GPT into businesses? Where would you maybe find case studies or industry reports? Where, as an entrepreneur, someone who works with entrepreneurs, where would you encourage people to look and research to learn more about how they can use Chat GPT for their businesses?
I would say the best sources of knowledge about how to use ChatGPT will be found on your own team. And to be sure that your own team will provide the best resources, now you have the obligation to tell every single person in your team how to use it. Once every single one is using it, that's the best place to find support about how to use it. And there's a logic behind that. The way this tool is built is based on general artificial intelligence. But the thing general, it might be too general, maybe,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, that's too much. But if you are working in your team and you want benefits for your team, the
Mhm.
best way to go is supporting with your own team
Nice.
about what the experiences that you are having using the tool. I think don't look for YouTube, don't go to crazy blogs.
Yeah,
Just find in your company and spend,
I like
I would say, a good amount of time working with your people.
I like that answer a lot. I saw someone tweet the other day about they were making jokes about, any day now we'll start getting all of the experts in Chat GPT.
Yeah.
That's why I love stressing the November 30th date, that yeah, be very, very wary of any expert. But also in some of the works I do with education and with schools, a lot of, not all, but a lot of schools and teachers are kind of freaking out about this. Oh no, yeah. And one of the things that I've been sharing a lot with, Chat GPT for education and learning is this November 30th date, that no matter how scared you might be as an educator or as an entrepreneur, everybody had the same start date, right? So the students are learning about this they've got just as much time and opportunity to learn about it as teachers do. That goes for customers and entrepreneurs as well. But it's fascinating because there's great opportunities to learn together. But also, like what you mentioned, is make that learning relevant to you, to your organization. It's the beauty about ChatGPT isn't just that it's immediate, but how personalized it could be, right? Again, we talk about these processes and systems. The same processes or systems I use may not be super beneficial to you or your team, but your team can decide. And I think that's a really cool moment in the history of entrepreneurship where there doesn't have to be as much searching outside of the team or the group for these answers. That this is technology, again, with curiosity based approach, can really help you uncover the solutions you need yourself. And so, really, I didn't even thought about that until you brought that up. The next question is how are you currently using or integrating Chat GPT into your systems or processes or business? And how do you suggest others, or maybe they're the same answer, but just quickly, how are you currently using it and how might other, entrepreneurs use this technology?
Okay, I will use two of my hats, because
Okay.
I have different hats.
Yeah.
The first one, and I think is that you just mentioned, is the teaching one.
Okay.
You know that I'm a university professor as well,
Yep.
so I teach two courses. One of the courses is system information management, and
Okay.
the other one is marketing.
All right.
I'm using ChatGPT since late December on both of my courses,
Okay.
and the way I'm using that is okay. If I tell you that go and write a paper about a specific topic, don't waste your time reading 20 different versions. Just go to ChatGPT
And
and
get.
ask to ChatGPT, hey, I need to understand the concept
Mhm.
of servers on a e-commerce architecture.
Yep.
And then you have the text and you have the explanation. And then you have, hey, please, I need to explain this to my professor in
Yep.
200 words. Help me. And now
Yep.
you have the 200 words.
Uh-huh.
But what happened next, actually? You will read this text, and after, and you will say, hey, this text it has been done by ChatGPT.
Yep.
Below that content, now you will say, hey, based on the ideas that you have for your professional life in
Mhm.
2 years from now, just type what do you think it's feasible, or what do you think you can create out of that concept.
Nice.
You cannot ask that one to ChatGPT, and that I'm using that in my classes. I'm encouraging people to use ChatGPT for the very simple text, for the very simple, I would say, for the very simple activities.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe you will spend a lot of time reading information, but if we are actually very honest to ourselves, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Go to read something is very simple. You don't need to be a super smart guy to read something. You just need time.
Yeah.
But if you want to create something, if you want to create your opinion, or you want to give me your ideas, now you need to put
Yeah.
your brain to work.
Yeah.
And on my other hand, at this, just an example, and this is an example from yesterday.
Uh-huh.
I'm the manager of a team that we are doing a supervising task for the government.
Okay.
We are a team of like 10 people, and the specific work that every professional is doing on supervising projects is the same stuff. Now you have the report from a contractor,
Mhm.
and usually this report is like a 50 pages, 80 pages. But the thing is that you don't you have like 40 different contractors
Wow.
on your own. So
Yep. Yep.
basically, you spend a lot of time reading the reports. And this is something for yesterday.
Yeah.
And yesterday, the professional say, "Hey, Nestor, what can I do?" So basically, just look at me. You just copy the content of
Yep.
the contractor report, and you put it on ChatGPT, and you ask ChatGPT, "Hey, I need a brief report of this one, where you can find these specific things:
Yep.
the time, the resources, the resource allocation,
Mhm.
the budget allocation, and the principal metrics," and just click enter. After
Well,
two
that's your
minutes,
system or process that you're putting it in. Yeah. 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 That we discussed
yeah,
before. You need to
yes,
define that ahead of. Yeah.
yeah. After just two
Yeah.
minutes,
Yep.
ChatGPT will provide you with the brief report,
No.
with the specific that you asked for, and my team.
Well,
She doesn't have to spend like 8 hours reading the report. She just in 2 minutes she's
yep.
making the report, and I say, hey, it doesn't mean that you're just copying this and copy and paste and sign it. No. Now you spend like half an hour
Mhm.
just going to the document and just double check the things, and in just 1 hour you'll be able to create a report that just before ChatGPT you spend like 2 days. And
Yep.
when you have 2 days for each one, and you have 40 contractors,
Then.
if you do the numbers, you don't have time.
I like to share with people. It's not. It shouldn't be called artificial intelligence. It should be accelerated intelligence, right? Again, it doesn't do much on its own, but
Yeah,
it accelerates what you can possibly do. But you still have to do something. You still have to
yeah,
bring
of course.
something to it. But like you said, again, as a writer, it doesn't write my blog articles for me or write my book for me or anything else, but it shrinks the amount of time it takes from the initial idea to the first draft to the second. like a first draft that would normally take, you said hours, can now take 10 minutes.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
the
writing
previous
it
the
for me,
pre
but you
yeah.
can immediately go.
Yes, and the previous question that you asked me, how fast you can get results, and when I say one day,
Yeah.
today
Yeah. Today, not just
we
today.
are having results. Yes,
Yeah.
I just teach my team yesterday how to
Uh,
use the basics of ChatGPT, and
uh,
today I have tons of messages here on my WhatsApp of my team saying, "Hey Nestor, thank you so much. We love you. Pretty much we are done with the work today
yeah.
at Friday, 1 p.m." So that's the thing, that's why you need to use the tools. As you just said before, this is a tool
Yeah.
that you need to learn how to use the tool. And
Yeah.
it's not that the tool will replace everything in your work. No, you have to do some work. But
Yeah.
the beautiful work, the work about curiosity, the work about creativity, the work about making your ideas improve your workplace. That's what I say.
I think
That's what I know.
you inadvertently answered the next question I have, which is why is Chat GPT considered to be a valuable tool for entrepreneurs and innovators. If you want to, so let me modify that slightly, and just give a short answer if you want. But why is curiosity, or why is Chat GPT combined with curiosity a valuable tool? So instead of just, why is it important to use them together?
I think that I love that question. You'll have more time to do the beautiful things about work. And the
Nice.
beautiful things about work are curiosity, creativity, innovation, and putting your own thoughts
Yeah.
on everything.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to spend more time doing the same task that you spend like 80% of your time, because now you have the tool to help you to solve that side of the equation. So it will change everything. Of course, it takes time. The more you use it, the more you will learn how to use it.
I love it. I love it. And you said something there that I'm going to explore more later and definitely use. But you expressed something that I hadn't put to words before. But you said it saves. I love the idea of saving time. So one is great. Why is it important? Because it becomes a time saver. That's something everybody can value. But you mentioned it doesn't just save time, but it saves you time so you can get back to the beautiful things about work. And especially for entrepreneurs, that's what attracts. That's why we're entrepreneurs and not working in this factory or for that office or for whatever else. Is that work isn't just about work? It's
Mm.
about doing something beautiful, right? It's about doing something, and it's fascinating because I mentioned about using Chat GPT for writing and some of the other stuff for work. Is I feel reinvigorated as a writer. I feel reinvigorated as an entrepreneur, even if it's not directly to the bottom line, or my profits increased this much for Chat GPT in 1 month. I can't necessarily say that, but I can say that my productivity has gone up. But even more importantly, my engagement, my interest, my passion, my motivation has skyrocketed. And it's just fascinating to see how how learners are going to be able to use this, how entrepreneurs, how innovators are going to be able to use this kind of getting back to that what'd you say again, the beautiful things about work. I think that's a beautiful thing to focus on going forward, and thank you for that, because I am going to focus and explore that more. But just even asking people, like, what are the beautiful things about work that you enjoy, and then maybe that's a question, and then start there, and then go, all right, now how can Chat GPT get you there? um, and let's make that the next question. The next question was supposed to be like, what confuses you about Chat GPT, or what what are some of the challenges, or I was even curious about just the technology behind it. But maybe we should change it just a little bit to what I just asked instead. Yeah, yeah. How how
Okay.
how can Chat GPT help entrepreneurs get back to the beautiful things about work?
Okay. Okay. That's two questions actually. Okay. What actually calls my attention
Yeah.
about ChatGPT? The first one is the ethics of the tool,
Okay.
because, for example, if you ask ChatGPT about what decisions should I take based on this information, usually if you are a math guy or an engineer, you will provide the data that you think it's enough to take the decision. The risk of doing that is that maybe you will take a biased decision, because ChatGPT at the end of the day, it's it's a large amount of algorithms, equations, and so on. I don't want to be very technical in this thing. So basically, that means if you enter information that is not enough to take a decision, but you ask the system to take a decision, the system will take the decision. Maybe it's not the best decision,
but it's a decision.
It's a decision, And the other thing is the decisions that you need to involve ethics, principles. For example, and this is an example that actually I'm using, and I don't have an answer for that one. This is something that I'm using. I say, let's say, for example, you are driving an autonomous car, and that autonomous car is run by the same concept of ChatGPT. And suddenly on the road, one dog is crossing the street from your right, and one little child is crossing the street from the left. And the equation on the server says that you need to avoid the event causing the more damages to the people inside the car. So what the intelligence will do, it will run the equation, and based on the equation will take the decision. But if you are the one driving the car, maybe you will be willing to create more damages. I don't know.
Based on others. That's
I do not have an answer for that. Those are the risks of just letting the artificial intelligence taking every single decision, And this is an extreme example. But if I say to artificial intelligence, okay, we as a country, what do we need to buy? Cereal or poultry meat? We as a country, what do we need to import? A or B? We as a country, what do we need to care more about? Highways or, I don't know, public infrastructure? So at some time, decisions involve more just than mathematics, involve ethics, principles,
humanity, the humans,
and humanity, and of course, and some people will say, "Oh, this is universal stuff." One other example that I'm using is no more than 300 years ago, we have slavery, and it was legal. So how do we evolve as a species, and how do we help the artificial intelligence to evolve as well? I think that's that the answer. I don't have the answer, but those are the things that the ChatGPT won't be able to answer. And that's the beauty, because the beauty is we have more time to think about those type of questions.
Well, let's finish on one last question. It should be a simple one. Maybe it may be tough to decide, but to wrap things up here, I originally was gonna ask for examples of companies or industries who are successfully using ChatGPT, but I think we may have covered on some of those, and some it may be too early. They're kind of still yet to be seen, even though people are benefiting immediately. So I'm wondering, what are you most optimistic? Like, what's your vision of the future when you look at the future? Let's even go the near future, like in the next, say, 2 to 3 years. What are you most optimistic about that'll be radically different in the next 2 to 3 years for entrepreneurs thanks to ChatGPT?
Okay, I will give you 3 examples. One, coding.
All right.
The software industry.
Nice.
The amount of time that the software industry today is spending looking for errors and mistakes on the code is crazy.
Wow.
Now
Okay.
you have GPT, and you can take this piece of code and you ask ChatGPT, hey, what's the mistake in this code? And in
Nice.
2 seconds, you have there you have an error here, and you can solve it in that way. So
Wow.
that's for software. The second one is for researchers.
Okay.
Because when you are doing research, and I'm seeing on the basic knowledge, maybe you are a PhD, you're working on DNA of flowers, or if you are a PhD working on the new vaccine for some crazy diseases.
Yeah.
The way you are doing the work as a PhD, if you have to run experiments, and then you have to compare the data.
Yeah.
But the beauty is now you have to design the experiment, because now you are the PhD. But the running the data and doing the comparison, now you have ChatGPT. So basically, you will be able to, I would say, to create a multiply factor to your time. So basically, science will be developed faster than today.
Again,
And
accelerated intelligence, right?
yes, accelerated intelligence.
It's accelerate. Yeah.
Yes, and the third one, and I think this is one of the ones that I love the most. It's if you need to write down the results of your research, of the time that you spend reading or analyzing something, you don't need it anymore.
Yep.
So that goes to pretty much like zero.
Yep.
Because the thing is, okay, now we have that we have talked, and I'm saying, now I'm talking with the ChatGPT, and you will say at the end of the conversation, now we have talked about these many elements. Just please create a brief content that I can show to my CEO or to my customer, and please send this content via email. And thank you so much. Yes, I'm going to my house. So those are the 3 examples.
Nice. Well, I'm excited about all of them. So this has been fantastic getting curious with you about ChatGPT for entrepreneurs. We're going to keep doing this. Again, this is going to be episode 1. I'm really curious about how, and again, maybe in a future episode, we can even get a little in depth in your particular background with chat bots and AI and everything else. I remember, ChatGPT just came out November 30th, but you've been working with this stuff for years now. So both I can ask better questions now because I can understand things better, but there's a stronger need to learn more. And I'm hoping we can share with not just myself, but others who are curious about ChatGPT for entrepreneurship. And in particular, how they might take a curiosity-based approach to not just thinking about, but understanding and ultimately using ChatGPT for better entrepreneurship, innovation, and getting more out of life. Right? Get back to what you say, the beautiful things about work.
About work. Yes.
Thank you. So again, till next time. Thanks a bunch, Nestor, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Talk soon. See ya.
Bye-bye.